Taylor Swift's work has been nothing short of amazing. Did you know that one man almost ruined it all? What did she do to get back in charge after a high-stakes fight over her music rights threatened to ruin her career? Check out the dramatic fight with Scooter Braun to learn how Swift turned what could have been a business crisis into a triumphant comeback. Are you ready to find out what really happened in this famous fight and how it affected one of the biggest names in music? Get ready for us to break down the high-stakes war between Scooter Braun and Taylor Swift. The music industry was completely rocked by this compelling story. But one thing is certain, Taylor revealed the music business to be a sinister, dark place. When the narrative began, Taylor was just 14 years old in 2005. Her last option after being turned down by several labels in Tennessee was to play in a young artist showcase at a downtown Nashville cafe. Fortunately, Taylor was signed by music executive Scott Borchetta after he saw her perform. However, Scott was not even employed by a record label. Rather than working with Scott, he founded his own label, Big Machine Label Group. Taylor signed a 13-year contract with Scott that would keep her with him until she was 27. Her father invested in the label, and between 2006 and 2017, she released 6 studio albums, including 1989 and Speak Now Red. However, behind the scenes, a dark force was at work. Big Machine controlled the master recordings for every album Taylor released, despite the fact that she went on to become one of the best-selling musicians in music history. This implied that Taylor never owned the music, and that a large machine was in charge of everything. However, Taylor wanted to modify her contract when it expired in 2018. In order to regain complete control over her records, Taylor's attorney proposed that Big Machine sell them back to her. In this manner, she could personally approve the use of one of her songs in a commercial or motion picture and get paid. However, Big Machine stated they would only sell Taylor's records if certain requirements were met. They stated that they would only sell them back to her if she collaborated on other albums. For each new album Taylor released, Big Machine would only give him one. However, Taylor felt that this was an unfair arrangement, so she permanently broke up with Big Machine. But in November of 2018, the conflict had only recently begun. Taylor signed a contract with Republic Records, a separate label. Under the terms of her new contract, Taylor fully owned every album that she released, joining customers like Ariana Grande, Drake, and The Weeknd. However, Taylor was unaware that one of her worst foes was preparing an attack on her music executive, even though things were looking great for her and her new label. After paying $330 million for the label group Big Machine, Scooter Braun acquired ownership of all Taylor Swift's songs. However, Scooter stood for musicians like Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, and Kanye West. He would undoubtedly look after Taylor's music, right? False. In reality, Taylor frightened Scooter and detested him. She claimed he bullied her and ruined her career by using his customers, including Kanye. Scooter didn't care though, because he owned Taylor's 6 albums completely and was free to deal with them as he pleased. However, Taylor posted some crazy drama on Tumblr after the label revealed Scooter's acquisition. She claimed to have felt duped since, when she attempted to purchase her recordings in the past, the large machine refused to budge. She was also incensed that her music will continue to benefit people like Scooter for a very long time. But everyone present was taken aback by what Taylor said next. She explained in great detail why she detested Scooter. Her revelations were startling. She made reference to Scooter's role in producing content intended as retaliation against her in Kanye West's famous music video. She added that Kim Kardashian was persuaded by somebody to disclose a phone conversation that was secretly recorded between her and Kanye. However, Scooter later utilized his enormous authority once more and informed Taylor that she would not be able to play live in 2019. Taylor disclosed that the 2019 American Music Awards will not allow her to perform any of her older tracks. Additionally, Scooter stated that Taylor was not permitted to use them in her upcoming Netflix documentary Miss Americana. However, Scooter did agree to allow Taylor to utilize her songs, but only with one restriction. Taylor was told to cease speak negatively about him and to never record her music again. Scooter attempted to stop the bad press about him by threatening Taylor because he was really concerned about how it would impact his career. Taylor stated that she needed to devise a strategy to regain it because all she wanted to do was sing her own songs. But she was actually being held captive. Taylor was serving a life sentence and Scooter was the jail warden. Taylor had a very clear warning: either act like a good little girl and be quiet, or else you will suffer consequences. Taking a risk, Taylor relied on a single ambiguous clause in her former Big Machine contract. Since she was listed as the songwriter on all of her songs, she could legally re-record and release them to the public once more, which is precisely what she did. However, Scooter did something even more bizarre in October 2020, only a few months before Taylor would reissue her first album. You won't believe the amount he got when he sold Big Machine to Disney-owned private equity firm Shamrock Holdings. After selling Taylor's masters for $405 million, Scooter's business brought in $265 million. It turned a healthy profit as well, allowing him to finance for his trips to France with Jeff Bezos. It's unbelievable how much money he made himself, though. After Scooter made almost $400 million, Taylor disclosed that Scooter had approached her in private and attempted to seal another dubious deal. Before she could even bid on her own song, she indicated that Scooter would allow her to purchase her masters back as long as she signed an NDA committing her to never speak negatively about him to the media. Scooter refused to even provide Taylor with a pricing quote according to her team, and the NDA was abnormal. You'll be shocked by what Scooter just said on the entire situation, notwithstanding her songs. He asserted that Taylor was lying throughout and that she initially declined to purchase the masters. But when she began to re-record, something bizarre occurred. Taylor has re-recorded 3 albums since 2018, all of which have been tagged with the term Taylor's version. Taylor's fans were able to actively support her new releases and offer her additional money as a result. Although Taylor still has a few albums to redo, including the highly regarded 1989, her rare recordings accounted for 70% of her 2022 earnings of $92 million, making her the most successful musician of all time. After a period, the rivalry subsided, but in 2022, Scooter rekindled it with an exclusive interview. You won't believe what Scooter stated he regretted most about the entire affair. He claimed that he had the incorrect impression that Taylor and all the other artists at Big Machine would be pleased with his acquisition of the business. He assumed that Taylor wouldn't want to collaborate with him because of his intentions and character. Big Machine claimed he was bound by an absurd non-disclosure agreement, NDA, that prevented him from telling any of the artists about his purchase until the money cleared. This, he claimed, made the issue much worse. Scooter didn't like how things ended up and thought Taylor had treated him unfairly in the end. However, Scooter claimed it was a teaching moment and wished everyone, including Taylor, well. However, in 2022, Business Insider conducted an exclusive investigation into Scooter and Taylor's dispute, and they discovered something that was previously unknown. According to the reporter, Taylor didn't appreciate how Scooter handled the split between Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. One of Taylor's closest friends, Selena, believed that Scooter had repeatedly acted inappropriately. According to reports, Scooter played a major role in breaking Selena's heart and was deeply ingrained in every element of Justin's life while they were together. The reporter also discovered that he owned and ran a number of news and blog sites, which he utilized to promote unfavorable stories about famous people. However, Scooter's attorneys claimed that because the Business Insider journalist had close connections to Taylor, the writer was biased and engaged in hearsay. In any case, Taylor moved on from the feud and hasn't looked back. She grossed almost $500 million on her tour, surpassing the earnings of all of Scooter's clients, including Ariana and Justin Bieber. Taylor is savoring every moment of her comeback after being nearly buried. She earned $500 million by performing her hit songs night after night. Regardless of Scooter's motivations, it's safe to say that Taylor prevailed and destroyed everyone who stood in her way. However, Scooter has had a difficult few years. While he was voted Variety's Music Mogul of the Year in 2021 and sold his holding firm for about $1 billion, his personal life has collapsed. One of Scooter's biggest clients, Ariana Grande, sacked him in 2018 from his position as her manager. Once more, Scooter had overreached himself by handling Ariana's personal affairs rather than her music business. However, Scooter put the blame for his dismissal elsewhere. Since Pete Davidson was Ariana's previous lover, he claimed Pete was to blame. Unfortunately, in 2021, Scooter also filed for divorce from Yael Cohen. He retained his $65 million home and private plane, but his former spouse received the family's other $30 million home and $20 million in cash. Even though Scooter still represents celebrities like J Balvin, Kid Laroi, and Justin Bieber, he will never be the same following his fall from grace with Taylor and her defiance of his authority. Curious about the untold stories behind music's biggest moments? Subscribe now for exclusive insights and deep dives into the high-stakes drama that shapes your favorite artists.